Humans act irrationally, completely irrationally. The person would rather have both people lose because they were offended than to be $10 richer. But I get it. It's like, why would you only offer me 10? Like, shouldn't you just offer 50-50, be a good human? And so they would rather both lose than to take something that they thought was unfair. We tend to see things in hindsight to being predictable. At the end of it, oh yeah, we know why that happened. On this episode, I'll be sharing with you 3 new exponential entrepreneur thinking models, and these are going to blow you away. These are 3 really amazing models, and if you've seen any of the others, this is going to be exciting for you if you want to grow a business that scales. So the first one is to understand what money is. Money isn't what you think. The thinking model around money is, many people don't understand what money is. See, money is actually just a unit of choice. It's a unit of measurement. So it measures something, and what it measures is it measures value. And it's a unit of choice because we choose where to put our units of this value. It's a currency, it's a measurement. Many people get money wrong. They think it is an energy source, or they think it is something that is scarce, but actually money is made up. Money is a measurement made up by humans to measure value. It's a very great system, an amazing system. And what it is it helps us to measure the value of things and the value of people's output, the value that they have given to other people in society. So if you don't have much money, it's because you haven't found ways yet to be able to add enough value to society to be able to get paid a respective value. Now, also on top of that, money is also leverage. And so what you can do with money, as you know, is you can go get it or borrow it for someone who has a lot. So you can go and get money and then you pay them a piece of it. So money is this thing that allows you to do stuff with your life, right? It allows you to have more choice. And if you want to have lots of it, you simply must add that much amount of value to other people. You want to go buy a house, or you want to buy this, or you want to buy that, and you total up. I'll give you an example, actually. When I started out, I said, I want to have $7 million. I said, I want to have $3 million for an amazing house paid off on the water here in the Gold Coast. Second, I want to have $2 million in an investment fund. I know that if I buy the market, I'll get about 8 to 10% a year. And I wanted $2 million away. So every year I'm going to get 200 grand. And so for me, that was financially free. So that was 5 million, right? 3 for the house, 2 for the investment. I wanted to have $1 million worth of toys and fun stuff and, you know, amazing cars and just cool stuff that I wanted. So that makes 6 million. And then I wanted another $1 million to have a holiday home, somewhere there just to go and spend. And that was my 7 million. And so I was like, okay, I need 7 million. And so you might have something different, but I thought to myself, if I could just come up with $7 million, if I could do that, and by the way, I was able to do it within 3 years, have that, pay all those stuff off and have it done and call myself financially free for 7 million, which is trivial and tiny. And I know that many of you have dreams much bigger than that, but that's all I could think of. And so when I thought up of that, that's what I wanted to do. I realized in order to do that, I needed to add $7 million worth of value to the world, okay? Because money is a measurement of value that I've provided to others. And so I realized this, and it was such an important realization because before that, I was like, okay, I don't know how this thing turns up, right? Some people just have it. Maybe they get lucky. I didn't realize that it's actually that they've provided something. So I realized, well, I'm not going to be able to add $7 million worth of value to the world if I'm trading my time. Right? I mean, I don't know, even if I got paid, $1,000 an hour, 1,000 thousands is 1 million, right? So I do 7,000 hours of something. And I mean, if you do the math on that, that's just crazy, right? Like if you can work, if you could work 7 hours a day, it's 1,000 days of work. So it's like 4 years, it's 4 years of working 7 hours every day at $1,000 an hour, which I don't even know what you get, so the math just doesn't work, right? And so I realized I needed to be able to do something that is able to make money without my time. And so I knew I needed leverage. I knew I needed to create assets. And so when you understand what it is that you want, if you understand that money is a measurement of value, this thinking model you can start applying. So what I want you to do with this thinking model is anything that you want to buy or a charity you want to give to, anything you want, okay? I want you to go, okay, I want to have that house. It's worth 5 million or 1 million, or I want to go on that holiday. And whenever you think about, I want to go on that thing, I want to buy that motorbike, I want to do that thing, whatever it is, I want that. You want to ask yourself, okay, how do I then go and add that much value to the world? And one of my favorite things, right, is Harriet and I will go, hey, we want to do this thing. And I'll go put on a seminar. And I'll go, okay, I know that I make about 30% gross margin on anything I do. So if I can sell $100,000 worth of tickets, I know I'll personally get about 30K. And there you go. We can go do that cool holiday, right? And I love thinking about it that way because then it changes why I'm doing things. So money isn't what you think. It's a measurement of value. And all you need to do is figure out ways to add that value to the world. Okay, the next principle is to understand that humans act irrationally. okay? Completely irrationally. The first way that we act completely irrationally is confirmation bias, right? We have a tendency to listen more often to things that actually confirm what we already believe. And this bias just blows me away. It's completely irrational, right? If you already believe it, why would you want to keep hearing more about that? Why wouldn't you want? So it doesn't make sense. The next way we act irrationally is a hindsight bias, right? Is that we tend to see things in hindsight to being predictable, right? Like at the end of it, oh yeah, we know why that happened. And it's completely irrational, right? An anchoring bias is a fascinating bias and it's completely irrational, right? Like if you think about this, if you go down to a supermarket and you're buying a loaf of bread, and that loaf of bread is normally, let's say it's normally $5, and all of a sudden you go down and it's $10. You'd be like, man, that's so much money, right? Like far out. But it's actually only $5. If I'm then offering you a brand new car and I say, I'll give you $5 off, it's the same $5, right? But because one is anchored to a price of $5 and it's a double, it's completely irrational, right? We'll be annoyed at one, and then the other one will be like, why would you even do it? And so it's so interesting to me about that, okay? Another bias that I see all the time is the halo effect, okay? This happens to me all the time, right? Because I'll be teaching someone something that I know about. They're not asking me about health or about relationship or something completely different. And they expect that I know about those because they see me as an expert. But actually, I'm an expert in conscious creation and I have absolutely no idea about what to do over here, you see? But we have this halo effect. And so it's completely irrational to me. And so, look, when you're working with people and working with yourself, just know that we are so irrational. Like we would much rather not lose money than make money, even though it's the exact same amount. They did this study where they basically had people had to work together and they had a certain amount of money and they had to, divide it up, okay? And basically either they agreed on dividing the money up. It was like, $100 and one person had the money, they had to earn some. And the goal was to keep as much money as possible, okay? And if you left with no money, you lost, and the goal was to try to get as much money as possible. And so most people, even though the goal is to keep as much money as possible for you, would never take anything but 50-50 and both lose the game, right? Which is both just end up with 50-50 and no one actually be able to win. Instead of understanding that if someone got offered $10 out of the 100, they would say no. Out of principle, rather than being $10 richer, they would say no because the person only offered them $10 or $1. They'd be like, no, I'm not, they screw their nose up. But does that make sense? So there's $100, one person's got the money and they have to give some to the other person. Everyone's trying to get some more money than when they started. And the first person says, hey, I'll give you 10. The person would rather have both people lose because they were offended than to be $10 richer, right? Which is irrational. But I get it. It's like, why would you only offer me 10? Like, shouldn't you just offer 50-50, be a good human? And so they would rather both lose than to take something that they thought was unfair. And so I just think it's really fascinating to think about that as you're working in your business, is that they're going to act irrationally. And it's not always logical. And so with your staff and out there in business is understand these things. The next thing is the STAR principle. And this changed everything for me. This is by Richard Koach, and his book, which I believe is called The STAR Principle, blew me away when it came to investing. He had hit investment after hit investment after hit investment by just following this one principle. And the principle was you find the biggest player in a growing market, the number one player in a growing market. And I think he defined a growing market, it was like 15% a year or something, but you have to read the book. And so his idea is this: if you find the biggest business in a market that's growing by 15%, the minimum that your investment will grow is 15% because it will just grow with the market. And that just blew me away. And he said that whenever he found a star, it was the biggest business in a growing market. And he knew for sure that if that market was going to keep growing, then his business would at least grow with that market. I don't have to say anything else on that. That is such an amazing thinking model. So I hope you enjoyed these. I've got more coming for you of these ways to think about your business so it's exponential and it grows so you can become a self-made millionaire. So I hope you enjoy this. I'll see you on the next episode. Bye for now.